I've been wanting to do that for a long damn time. What's going on, folks? This your boy New Jack coming at you live. It's that time of year again, baby. The NFL season is around the corner. I'm looking forward to this season. About damn time that we have football back. I know y'all missed me. I've been on summer vacation. I've been out in the studio for a long time now. Ever since the March Madness tournament, I believe, was my last video. But I'm back in the studio, ready to make it hot once again. So today, I'm going to give y'all my 2017 NFL season predictions. Starting now, let's get it. I'm going to start it off with the AFC East. This is a damn no-brainer. I have the New England Patriots winning the AFC East, the 5-time Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady is the best quarterback in NFL history. And Bill Belichick, I have to say this, is the best head coach in NFL history. They are the favorites to go back to the Super Bowl again this year. Miami, the New York Jets, and Buffalo all have pretty good defenses. But the one thing that they don't have is Tom Brady. Enough said. And I'm going to say this right now. The only team out of the AFC that I can see knocking off New England when their playoff time arrives is Oakland. Any other team out of the AFC will not defeat New England. Don't give me Pittsburgh. Don't give me Kansas City. Don't give me Denver. Don't give me Cincinnati. None of those teams have the talent and the coaching, the players, etc. that New England has. And like I said, the only team that I could see knocking off New England is Oakland. So I have the New England Patriots winning the AFC East. The AFC North, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers got beat down last year in the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. The Steelers have one of the best offenses entering this year. They still have Big Ben as their quarterback. They have their workhorse, Le'Veon Bell, who, by the way, they need to pay. And they have one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, Antonio Brown. Their secondary was awful last year. They were one of the worst last year in the NFL. But they did have a good draft class this year. We will see how their secondary performs. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to make them sweat in that division. They are a really good team, but the problem with Cincinnati is they still have Marvin Lewis as their head coach. When are they going to get rid of this guy? As long as they have Marvin Lewis, they'll do good in the season, but when playoff time comes, they'll lose in the first round like they do every year. The Baltimore Ravens, they are still rebuilding. They still have Joe Flacco as their quarterback, but they're a young team. They're still rebuilding. The Cleveland Browns, they might make a little noise this year. I think they will win 45 games this year. I believe they will have a better record this year than they had last year. But if I had to pick a team to win this division, it would have to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the AFC North. Let's move on, shall we? The AFC South. Now, this division is going to be a close call. All four of these teams had a good offseason. Starting with the Houston Texans. They drafted Deshaun Watson, which was a really good pick for them because last year they didn't have a damn quarterback. I mean, they had Brock Osweiler. They still have Tom Savage, but he's more of a backup quarterback. He is not a starter. So I look for Deshaun Watson to start week 1 for the Houston Texans. They have a healthy J.J. Watt back, having him play alongside with Jadeveon Clowney. This defense is going to be even better this year than they were last year. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they drafted Leonard Fournette, which was a good pick for them. He is going to be the workhorse in that backfield. What in the hell is up with Dante Fowler? Getting arrested again? Really? Not a good sign. Quarterback Blake Bortles has to have a good year this year. I mean, he has to have a good season. He has to have a good year. If he doesn't have a good season this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars need to find them a new quarterback in 2018. I'm just saying. The Indianapolis Colts. Quarterback Andrew Luck, I believe, is going to have a good season this year. They drafted cornerback Quincy Wilson out of Florida, a much needed pick for that secondary. If the Colts defense performs well this year, they could win this division if everybody can stay healthy. And the Tennessee Titans, they're going to be really good this year. We all know what quarterback Marcus Mariota can do. He can throw it and he can run it. They have two good running backs in that backfield, in DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. And they drafted wide receiver Corey Davis. This is a pretty good team. And they have a pretty good defense as well. And like I said, if everybody can stay healthy on this Tennessee Titans team, they're going to win the AFC South. Looking at these four teams right now, if I had to pick one to win the AFC South, it would have to be the Tennessee Titans. Quarterback Marcus Mariota had a really good year last year. They have two good running backs, and they drafted wide receiver Corey Davis. And they have a pretty good defense. And looking at these four teams and looking at their roster right now, the best team right now in that division are the Tennessee Titans. And I think they're going to win the AFC South. So I have the Tennessee Titans winning the AFC South. The AFC West. Another good division to watch this year. The Kansas City Chiefs, who won this division last year. They drafted quarterback Patrick Mahomes in the first round. Alex Smith has to light it up this year if he wants to keep his job. Kansas City is another team with a good defense. But can they win this division again this year? It's possible, but we shall see. The Denver Broncos. Now the big question is, who will be the starting quarterback? Will it be Trevor Siemian or Paxton Lynch? I believe, in my opinion, I believe Paxton Lynch is going to win the quarterback battle and start week 1 for the Denver Broncos. The Broncos still have one of the best defenses in the NFL. The offense has to perform well this year in order for them to win the AFC West. The Broncos, they still have a good defense, but the question is, how well will the quarterback perform? Will it be Trevor Siemian or Paxton Lynch? And like I said, in my opinion, I believe the starting quarterback is going to be Paxton Lynch. But the question for Denver is, how well will the quarterback perform? If the quarterback performs very well, then they have a real shot of winning this division. The Oakland Raiders. We all know that quarterback Derek Carr got injured and missed the playoffs last year. A healthy Derek Carr this year, along with weapons like Amari Cooper and wide receiver Michael Crabtree, look out. And they drafted cornerback Garyon Conley, my boy, out of Ohio State. And they have the best linebacker in the NFL right now, Khalil Mack. Now, I know a lot of y'all would say that Luke Kuechly is the best linebacker in the NFL. But in my opinion, I believe Khalil Mack is the best linebacker in the NFL right now. I will say this, and I said this in the beginning of this video. Not just the AFC, but this Oakland Raiders team is one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Besides New England, I will put Oakland either number 2 or number 3. If Derek Carr and if this team can stay healthy, and like I said, they're the only team I can see knocking off New England in the AFC. I believe, I'm going to say this right now, I believe this will be the AFC Championship game. The New England Patriots going up against the Oakland Raiders. I'm calling it right now. Yes, I said it. My AFC Championship game. New England versus Oakland. I'm calling it right now. This Oakland Raiders team is going to be really good. Then they have Beast Mode. They brought in Beast Mode as their running back, as their workhorse. Besides New England, they are the best team, not only in the AFC, but in the whole entire NFL. So look out for this Oakland Raiders team. And the Los Angeles Chargers. They still have Phillip Rivers as their quarterback, and they are still rebuilding. They drafted Mike Williams, but their defense needs a little work if they're going to compete with Denver, with Kansas City, and Oakland. Y'all already know who's my pick to win the AFC West. I don't need to go any further. Y'all already know. So I have the Oakland Raiders winning the AFC West. This is what the hell y'all been waiting for. The NFC Conference. Let's start off with the NFC East. Here we go, damn it. Let's start it off with my Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we had a good draft class this year. We drafted defensive end Derek Barnett in the first round. The second round, we drafted Sidney Jones, cornerback out of Washington. We had a pretty good offseason this year. We signed wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, and we have a workhorse back in LeGarrette Blount. I'm proud of what we did in the offseason, and I'm also proud and happy that we had a good draft class this season. My only concern is, can everybody stay healthy? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if this Eagles team can stay healthy this year, I believe not only will they win the NFC East, I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl, to the NFC Championship game, or none of that. I'm not saying that. So don't come at me with crazy comments. Oh, New Jack picked the Eagles to go Super Bowl. No, I'm not. Okay? I'm saying if everybody can stay healthy, not only are they going to win the NFC East, but I would say we would go far in the playoffs. I will put it like that. That's all I'm going to say about the Philadelphia Eagles. We're looking good so far. We have young players on our team that's stepping it up in training camp now. This is the second day of training camp. And I will make another video by the end of this week talking about these young players that are on our roster now. Who's going to make it and who's going to get cut. I will make a video sometime this week or next week talking about what the Eagles need to do before the season starts. But moving right along. The New York Giants. They still have Eli Manning. I don't care what anybody says about this guy. He's been struggling lately throughout these years. But he is still a two-time Super Bowl champion. So you got to respect him for having those championships. And they signed wide receiver Brandon Marshall during the offseason. With Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, and Marshall, look out. That's all I got to say. And they have a pretty good defense. The Giants will be a team to watch this year out of this division. They have a pretty good defense, and them signing Brandon Marshall in the offseason. If Eli plays very well this year, the Giants are going to be really dangerous. Not only in this division, but in the whole entire NFL. But we shall see what they do. The Washington Redskins. Kirk Cousins is back for another year. You like that? You like that. Y'all better like giving him a contract. That's all I got to say, Washington. But he did have a pretty good year last season. They signed Terrell Pryor during the offseason, which was a good pickup for them after losing Deshaun Jackson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll see what the Redskins do. The Dallas Cowboys. They cannot stay out of damn trouble. It seems like every year, either somebody's getting in trouble or getting arrested. Same old Dallas Cowboy players. There's always something with them. They are always in the damn news. But what else is new? Of course, they won the NFC East last year. But it's a different year. Dak and Zeke had incredible rookie seasons last year. I give them props on that. They have the offense, but the question is, how well will their defense perform? Because if their defense performs poorly this year, they're not going to win the NFC East or make the playoffs. That is all I'm going to say on that. Like I said, they have the offense. Dak Prescott is a pretty good quarterback, and Ezekiel Elliott is one of the best running backs in the NFL. They still have Dez Bryant, who's one of the best wide receivers, if healthy, in the NFL. They have the offense. I give them that. But their defense, I don't know about their defense. But we'll see how they perform. Looking at these four teams in the NFC East right now. If I had to pick a team to win the NFC East this year, I'm talking about if everybody can stay healthy wise, it will be out of Philadelphia or the New York Giants. And which team do I have winning the NFC East? If everybody can stay healthy, baby, I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East. I believe quarterback Carson Wentz is going to have an amazing season. He has the tools now. He has a power back now in LeGarrette Blount. He has wide receivers that can catch the ball for him in Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. We still have Jordan Matthews, and we drafted Mac Hollins out of North Carolina, who I believe is going to have a good season this year. If everybody can stay healthy, the Philadelphia Eagles will win the NFC East. So I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East. The NFC North, I have the Green Bay Packers winning the NFC North. Of course, last year, Green Bay started the season with a 4-6 record. Won 6 games in a row. to advance to the playoffs, all the way to the NFC Championship game. And of course, they fell short to the Atlanta Falcons. But Green Bay still has that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. He can do it all. And that's why I'm picking the Green Bay Packers to win the NFC North. They still have some work to do on that defensive side, especially that secondary. But we shall see how they play this season. The Minnesota Vikings, Sam Bradford is still their starting quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is rehabbing of that torn MCL and ACL he suffered last season and missed the whole season last year. But they are saying that he's rehabbing, and more likely he's going to miss this season. Minnesota still has their defense, though. They finished in the top 5 in total defense last season. But Minnesota, they might be one of the teams to watch this season. I believe they will have a good season this year. We shall see what they do. The Detroit Lions, they still have Matthew Stafford as their quarterback. He's a good quarterback and a good leader. But they are still rebuilding after losing Calvin Johnson 2 years ago. You know, they are still a rebuilding team. But I believe they will have a good season this year. We shall see what the Lions do. The Chicago Bears, the best damn thing they did was got rid of Jay Cutler. They are a better team right now without having Jay Cutler on their roster. They signed Mike Glennon during the offseason, which was a pretty good pickup. They drafted Mitch Trubisky out of North Carolina. But what the hell and why the hell did Chicago went from number 3 to number 2 in this year's NFL draft? We are still shaking our heads of what the hell they were thinking. I mean, unbelievable. But it is what it is. I think the Bears will win 4 or maybe 5 games this season. I think they will have the same record as the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they still have some work to do throughout these next coming years to rebuild. But if I had to pick a team to win the NFC North, it will have to be the Green Bay Packers. So I have the Green Bay Packers winning the NFC North. The NFC South. Now this division is going to be up in the air. Any of these 4 teams can win this division. Let's look at the Atlanta Falcons. The NFC champions from last season. The NFL MVP from last season, Matt Ryan, returns and is seeking to go back to the Super Bowl. This Falcons team still have the tools to reach the Super Bowl again. They have one of the best running back duos in the NFL with Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. They have the best wide receiver, Julio Jones, and they have an average defense. We shall see what the Atlanta Falcons do. I believe they're going to have another good season. The Carolina Panthers, I don't know what the hell happened to them last season. I mean, Cam Newton taking headshots and referees not calling them. But they drafted Christian McCaffrey. So that gives Cam Newton in that offense another weapon. So look out for the Carolina Panthers this season. And Luke Kuechly is back healthy. If he can stay healthy all season, look out for the Carolina Panthers. they also can win this division. The New Orleans Saints, they still have Drew Brees as their quarterback. They have Adrian Peterson, and they still have Mark Ingram in that backfield. So look out for New Orleans. But the question is, how well will their defense play? I mean, their defense has always been trash. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just being real. Their defense always been trash. Even the year they won the Super Bowl, they were trash. They still was ranked 30th in total defense when they won the Super Bowl in 2009. So their defense has always been trash. I'm just saying. But they have a pretty good offense. They still have Drew Brees. But they did lose Brandon Cooks to New England. But they're still a pretty good team. They still have Drew Brees, and I believe they will have an all right season. Now, the team to watch in this division is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team has done really well in the offseason. I mean, my goodness, they brought in Deshaun Jackson. They drafted O.J. Howard out of Alabama, the tight end. I mean, they are stacked. And they have a pretty good defense as well. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is going to be a team to watch this season. Quarterback Jameis Winston had a pretty good season last year and throwing the football. He has improved, and he's looking good so far in the training camp of what I've been hearing. So look out for Tampa Bay this season. This is a tough call for me, ladies and gentlemen. This is a tough call. Out of all these divisions, this has to be the toughest call out of all the other divisions. If I had to pick a team to win this division this year, I'm going to have to say Atlanta again. I believe even though they lost the Super Bowl, but Atlanta looks hungry. They want to go back to the Super Bowl. I know it's tough when a team loses a Super Bowl and some of them struggle the following year. But I believe they still have the tools. They still have Matt Ryan, the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, Julio Jones, those running backs. And that, I think their defense has improved. They signed some key defensive players during the offseason. So that made that defense even better. I have to go with Atlanta again. I believe that Atlanta is going to win the NFC South again this season. But I'm not going to count out Tampa Bay, and I'm not going to count out the Carolina Panthers. Either of these three teams in New Orleans, they have the offense, but they don't have the defense. But it's going to be a close race toward the end. But if I had to pick a team to win it right now, I have to pick the Atlanta Falcons. So I have the Atlanta Falcons winning the NFC South. The NFC West, I have the Seattle Seahawks winning the NFC West. Of course, we all know that Seattle won this division last year. Quarterback Russell Wilson kind of struggled last season, but got together in form throughout the end of last season. Still had a good year, though. Seattle still has that defense. The Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman and company. So I look for Seattle to have another good season. The Arizona Cardinals, injuries is what held them back last season. Carson Palmer couldn't stay healthy. He kept getting hurt. And some of the defensive players got hurt or couldn't stay healthy. They were out a few games. So injuries held Arizona back last season. But I believe they're going to be a team to challenge Seattle for that division if everybody can stay healthy. I mean, Tyrone Matthew got hurt last season. If he can stay healthy, and if their whole team stays healthy, look out for Arizona. I believe they will have a good season this year. I think they're the only team out of that division that would challenge Seattle. We shall see what Arizona does. The Los Angeles Rams. Quarterback Jared Goff. In his rookie season last year, I mean, he was terrible. And I know down my comment section, they'd be like, New Jack, you going hard on Jared Goff. He was a rookie last season. I mean, I see some bad rookies. I see some bad rookie quarterbacks in my life, but come on now. Really? I mean, he was just bad off. And then they want to say that Jared Goff this season is going to have a better season than Carson Wentz. You know what? I need a drink after that one. Hold on. Some of the NFL commentators said that Jared Goff will have a better season than Carson Wentz. I don't know what the hell they've been smoking. But they haven't been looking at the same thing as I've been looking last year, coming into this season. That's all I got to say about that. But the Rams, they are still rebuilding. And like I said, they drafted Jared Goff last season, who was terrible. But they have a pretty good defense. I give them that. We'll see what the Rams do. I think they'll finish under average. I would say they would finish 6-10, or I would say 6-10. They would finish 6-10 this year. San Francisco 49ers, they don't have a damn quarterback. And Brian Hoyer, really, and Matt Barkley, come on now. I mean, enough said about them. I mean, they'd be lucky to win 2 damn games this season, the 49ers. They don't have a damn quarterback. But the best thing they did do was fire Chip Kelly. That was the best thing they did in the offseason, was get rid of Chip Kelly. But other than that, I don't see the 49ers doing anything but having one of the worst records in the NFL again this season. But if I had to pick a team to win the NFC West, it would have to be the Seattle Seahawks. Because of that defense, and Russell Wilson is an average quarterback, but I believe Seattle will win either 10 games or 11 games. They will win enough games to win the NFC West. So I have the Seattle Seahawks winning the NFC West. So for my AFC and NFC playoff seeds, look like this. Starting with the AFC, I have New England getting the number 1 seed. I have Oakland getting the number 2 seed. I have Pittsburgh getting the number 3 seed. I have Tennessee getting the 4th seed. My 2 wild cards, I have Kansas City getting the 5th seed. And I have Houston getting the 6th seed. Out of the NFC, I have the Atlanta Falcons get the number 1 seed. I have the Green Bay Packers get the number 2 seed. I have my Philadelphia Eagles get the number 3 seed. And I have the Seattle Seahawks get the 4th seed. My 2 wild cards out the NFC are the 5th seed. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the 5th seed. And I have the New York Giants get the 6th seed. I hope y'all enjoyed this. There's more videos coming at y'all sometime this week. I will make my college football season prediction video. So y'all stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, y'all take care. Football season is here. And the season is around the corner. And your boy is back in the studio. I'll talk to y'all later. And make